Hi guys, my name's Philip, and it is good to be making YouTube videos for you again. Today, I just wanted to share how I generally make time lapses using my Z6, and I wanted to show you the two different ways that you can do so in the Z6. Let's get started. So, both of the ways that you can shoot a time lapse are in the photo shooting menu. If you go almost all the way down to the bottom of the menu, you've got interval timer shooting, and you've got time-lapse movie. And actually, time-lapse movie is the mode that I use most often for a couple of reasons. We'll get to those later. The more professional way to shoot a time lapse is undoubtedly the interval timer shooting. So when we dive into that, and actually, just so you know, the time-lapse movie mode here is grayed out because I'm recording the EVF with an Atomos Ninja 2 so that you can better see the menu during this part of the video. But I'll switch it up later so you can see the other menu. Interval timer shooting is a more professional way to shoot a time-lapse because it gives you more resolution, it gives you more post-production options, and that's about it. But those professional options, you could say, does come, I think, one fairly important caveat, and that is, generally people seem to forget that, since you're making individual images to create your time lapse, you're actually dealing with a lot more information, so a lot more data going into your hard drives and stuff like that. So just remember, be aware of that. If you're going to use interval timer shooting, I actually recommend in some cases not shooting in RAW. Instead, shoot in high quality JPEG, a large JPEG, probably flat picture profile, just to give you a little bit more dynamic range than you might otherwise find in other picture profiles in JPEG. In any case, these are the options in interval timer shooting. Start means just start now. With the settings that I have going on, just start up the timer right now and start shooting. Choose a start date time, that's just start it up in the future. Interval, literally it's the time in between the shots. Intervals times shots / interval. Really that just think of that option as how many pictures do you want the camera to take. Exposure smoothing, I've actually used this and I haven't noticed a difference in any of my time-lapse work. Silent photography is something I'm so excited to see from the Z6, from Nikon, as an option for time-lapse, because sometimes you want to set up a time-lapse at like an event or in like an office setting, and having a shutter rattle off every few seconds can be really annoying. Silent photography has been great on the Z6, and this is a great option to see for your time-lapse tools. Interval priority is talking about placing priority either on the interval itself or on the exposure settings. And I actually never use this. I always have it off. Starting storage folder is a great little option. I don't use it because I rarely use interval timer shooting. But what it is it allows you to set all of these photographs during the interval timer shooting into its own folder, which is just great because that's going to help you organize your post work. So if we go back out and then we go back down to time-lapse movie, we can start talking about why I actually like this mode better, kind of what that looks like. Okay guys, let's dive into the time-lapse movie mode option. This is the option I use most often, and the reason I do is because I only end up with one file to deal with. It's just one baked, cooked, created, whatever you want to say. It's a video file. The camera operates in a similar manner to interval timer shooting, but you just end up with one file, and therefore you save a lot of space. You do lose a little bit of quality, but I haven't really needed, raw photographs for my time lapses. I've been super satisfied with the product that I get from this camera in time-lapse movie mode. Start is just start right away. Interval, the time between the shots. Shooting time is exactly what it sounds like. How long do you want the camera to sit there and record for, essentially? How many minutes, how many hours do you want the camera to shoot for? Exposure smoothing, I haven't seen a difference in my content. Silent photography, I'm so grateful to see that as an option in the time-lapse tools here, and I use it all the time. Image area, right? FX or DX, full frame or crop. I do want to make sure and emphasize that you should be in photo shooting mode, not video shooting mode. When you make a time lapse, it's going to use the photo shooting mode, exposure. So it's going to pay attention to the shutter, ISO, and aperture in your stills, your photo shooting mode. So make sure you are in that mode when you're going through and setting this up. One of the great options about time-lapse movie is it lets you shoot in 4K. I choose the 24 frames per second. You can go up to 30. You can even shoot in 1080-60. And then interval priority. Again, I never use this. One thing I really like about this time-lapse movie mode is it gives you this option to check out your frame. So if you hit this button here, then you can see your shot in whatever your frame size option was, whatever you chose to be your frame size. You get that preview right here before you start shooting, which is great. I do like that they do the math for you. Down here at the bottom in blue, we can see how long our video file is going to be. In this case, if I shot every 3 seconds for 2 hours, I'm going to get a video file that is 1 minute and 40 seconds. And again, that's for a 24 frames per second video file. If we increase this to 5 seconds interval, we can see our video got a lot shorter, went down to 1 minute. So this is great. You don't have to think so much about the math. One thing I do want to mention is it takes practice, to be able to show up on set and really understand what your interval needs to be to get the product that you desire. This is why I shoot clouds a lot. They often are moving at different speeds or different rates. You start to get a sense and an understanding for your subject and how fast they're moving, and how that relates to an interval that you're going to need for the product that you or your client desires. If you want your subject to be blazing through the composition or your frame, then your interval, most likely, it needs to be, longer. You need more time in between your shots. If you want your subject to, slowly lapse time, then you're going to want to shorten that interval space. Guys, thank you so much for watching this video. If it helped you at all, please go ahead and like it, subscribe to the channel. I've got more Z6 specific videos coming out in the future. It's so good to be back on YouTube making videos specific to Nikon cameras just for you guys. I'm here to help. Don't hesitate to ask questions down in the comment section. I do my best to get back at you. You guys have been absolutely fantastic. I can't believe that we're already close to 2,000 subscribers. This is incredible. What a wonderful community it's been. Thank you so much for being here. I hope that this helped, and I'll see you next time.